Hey guys, this is Daniel from Displays by Daniel. If you're watching this, you probably just bought a new display set from me. Thank you so much. Your business means the world to me. I take a lot of pride in what I make. This is the scalloped version of the corners. That's what we're here to talk about today. We're talking about assembly and care instructions. This is the scalloped version of the corners. The straight edge version of the corners goes together exactly the same way. You're going to be tempted to put in both uprights going up, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. These will only go together one way. You can't deviate from what I'm showing you here because it just won't go together. Halfway through assembling it, it won't line up, and you're gonna think that there's a defect in the part, when in fact there's not. They're designed, I took a lot of pride in designing them, they're designed to flat pack and be stable and sturdy, and the trade-off to that is they have to be tight, and when you have tight fitting parts, they'll only go together one way. So I'm going to take this apart. This works to show you the disassembly. I'm going to work out one upright. All I do, fingers here. So I've got my fingers up front on the upright, and I just give it a little push. A little push, just how I feel it give. A little push, and I just work it. There we go. You don't need a lot of pressure, just steady pressure. Now that I've got one upright out, now, and it's the same thing. Fingers, thumbs here, and pull towards me. Pull towards me. It goes together and it comes apart in seconds. You can see the footprint here. They're designed to flat pack, very small, store them in a duffel bag or in your box and take up a minimal amount of space when you're not using them, when you're not at a show. Every section you buy from me should come with 5 parts. You get your 2 uprights, your large shelf for the bottom, your medium shelf for the middle, your small shelf for the top. So let's show you how to put them together, and then we'll get into the care instructions. There's not much really. It's a really good product. So I'm going to grab one upright, and you're just going slot to slot. Like I said earlier, big shelf on the bottom, so I'm going to the bottom slot with the big shelf. And there's an idea how easy these can slide together. I mean, I do have to put a little pressure on it, but not a lot. Boom. So that's on up in the air. That's not even on the table for stability. Now you're going to want to be tempted to grab your second upright and come over to this slot. Don't do that, because what's going to happen is when you go to put in your next shelf, it's not going to line up. So the way you've got to do it is just work up one upright. And I'm just a hand back here and a hand up here and just push. That's all. It's not a lot of pressure. It's a little bit though, but it's not a lot. You're not going to break them. They're birch, so a little bit of pressure. Now, I've got one upright in. What's the best way to show you guys? Probably just how it is right now. Now I'll come in. Actually, let me turn this and see. So the goal here is you see how the slots are lined up, and that's what you're going for. Now I'll just work it in. So again, I'll start at the bottom, and I just kind of halfway line it up. So I'm started a little bit in all 3 slots, just like that. So I'm halfway started in all 3 slots. I'm not going to be able to push all the way into any one slot unless I'm kind of partially started in all 3. Now that I'm there, just a hand in the back, hand up front, and push. You notice how that twisted as I pushed it in? A neat feature to these is they're self-squaring. So as long as you push them in all the way, they're going to be a true 90 degrees all the way around, which is nice. Then once I've done that side, I'll pop back over here and just make sure get back together. So you should be able to put these together and take them back apart in just a couple minutes once you've had a little practice. Your first time's probably gonna take you a little longer. I will say, if you're having to put too much pressure, just go ahead and pull the shelf back out and start over. Probably what's happens if you come in at a little bit of an angle one way or another, and just pull it back out and start over. They should be tight, but they shouldn't be like tap it in with a hammer tight. So I do test fit every single unit before I ship it. So none of them shipped tap it with a hammer tight, unless UPS dropped them in a pond on their way to your house or something. They should arrive in the same condition they left my shop. Care instructions. If you want to stain them to your heart's content. If you want to clear coat that stain or paint them, you can do that. They'll take it just fine, but I want you to be conscious of the fact that, like I said before, these slots are tight. So if you go getting clear coat or paint in these slots, you're going to have to sand it back out, or it won't. They're not going to fit together. When you do sand it back out, just use a piece of sandpaper in your hand. Don't use a power tool, because if you change the dimensions of these slots, you're going to lose the stability, and it's going to have wobble, and then you've got liability issues at your craft shop. So the way it stands now, and I can put more, I'm just not gonna. These are exceedingly strong shelves. They're made out of birch. It's a solid hardwood with a Douglas fir core, which is also a hardwood. They're very strong, they're ultra durable, and as long as you put them together and take them apart the way I showed you, and maybe don't sit them in mud puddles, they're gonna last you the rest of your life. As far as water goes, a damp rag to clean them is fine. A warm damp rag to clean them is fine. Soapy water, I wouldn't soak them, but that's also okay. A light mist at your craft show is okay. I wouldn't leave them out in a thunderstorm, and I wouldn't stand them up in a mud puddle. It's not going to hurt the birch, but what it'll hurt is the glue in between these plies will want to come apart if you just soak them in water. Other than that, I really can't think of anything else you need to know. Just don't soak them in water, don't get paint in the slots, and put one up right in at a time, and you're going to be golden. I hope you enjoy your new displays as much as I enjoyed making them for you. Thanks, guys.